This episode is brought to you by all of our patrons.
Oh.
What are you doing, Bobby? What was that?
Got the bottom of my bed. Go ahead. Sorry.
Amateur.
I need my glasses.
Yeah, come on, Bobby.
That might have been why the issue. Okay, go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
This episode is brought to you by all of our patrons. To become a patron, head over to patreon.com/makeusbetter. This week's executive producers are Nick from Next Level Games, Joel Brooks, and James Johnson. You guys are awesome!
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Toby. What's up, Toby?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Bobby. How are you today?
No. I said, what's up? I didn't say, how are you doing? I said, what's up?
What's the difference?
The difference is, it's like, what's up? Like, what are you up to? Like, what have you been up to? Like, how are you, how are things? Not, how are you? I don't care how you are personally. I want to know how things are.
You don't care about my feelings, do you, Bobby?
No, not really. Not really.
Well, what's up is that I'm podcasting with you right now. In case you didn't notice, Bobby.
What's up is that Toby is achieved rockstar status once again in the amiibo customization world.
Oh, I don't know about that, Bobby.
Oh, come on, man. People are flipping out over that amazing custom that you did with TJ.
Yeah.
You guys killed it.
We got some good feedback.
Some amazing feedback, man. Seriously. Yeah. I can't wait till it's all done and the video goes up, because I'm really, really souped to see. Like, I watched, so you sent me the video, right? And I watched it. I see what you're talking about with a couple of things. If he throws a background music underneath it, you don't have to worry about that. But dude, it was amazing. Amazing, dude. And to see all the steps like, I can see why you want to charge the money that you want to charge when you do a custom, because dude, it's the process is like, there's layers of paint on there, and people only, like, when I look at it, I go, oh, that's not really a hard thing to do. But then when I watched you do it, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have the time or the patience for something like that. Like, it's nuts, because you gotta do the mat, but then you gotta, like, it's a couple of layers before you can actually start painting normal, right?
Yeah, you sort of, we spray it black,
yeah,
and then I black up any areas that the spray didn't touch, and then you put a base color on, and then you can put 2 or 3 highlights on top of the base color. So there's a lot of different layers going on.
It's amazing. It really is. I was impressed. Blown away. Toby, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is going to dictate the progress and the way we continue this show. We can go one of two ways here. We can either go casual and the way we are now and friendly, or we can go very hostile for the remainder of the show.
Oh, I'm scared, Bobby.
So I just need to know, are you team ice cream or are you team cake?
Oh, I'm team cake.
Ah, my man, my boy.
All the way.
That's okay, good. We're good then. We're going to have a great show then.
Cool.
You guys don't have those. Well, in England, you don't have those options, do you?
I don't know. I assume we do.
I don't know, because Japan had rock versus pop. And then typically, it's the way it has been in the past was each territory got their own thing. I don't know what Europe's is. I don't believe it's cake versus ice cream. But I didn't even, this morning I woke up and I went on YouTube, and there was people streaming, playing in the Japanese Splatfest. Like,
oh, really?
Because what they did was they created separate accounts. And they created a Japanese account, and they went into the Japanese store and they downloaded the Splatfest demo, and then when the time came, they played. I was like, that is ingenious, man. That is awesome. I love that, because as time progresses further, you might want to compete against Japanese players, during a Splatfest, to see, like, there is 2 different styles of play.
Yeah. Japanese
are more sneaky. They'll like hide in the ink more. They'll jump up out of the ink, and like, I remember when we first started playing, and I would play in the early mornings a lot. And it was like, in the early mornings I would play against a lot of Japanese players, and then in the afternoon and the evening it was all American players. And when I first started playing in the early mornings and I was playing against Japanese player, I would realize, like, dude, these guys are, it's a totally different style. Where in the United States, in North America, it was more of a, like, let's try to paint the ground as much as possible. We will try to shoot each other when you're up on it, but they won't come after you. They won't, that's not their number one. Dude, the Japanese players, like, they'll drop a little bit of ink in the corner of a map, and you go zipping by because you're like, oh, and then boom, they just pop up and lay you out. And I'm like,
sneaky.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, you son of a gun. So it's really cool. It's really awesome.
It is cake and ice cream in the UK as well on the Nintendo UK website.
Okay, so. That's cool. That's cool. So let us kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
Go on, Bobby. You go first.
Well, what I want to do is, because we actually threw this to the community. We had discussed doing this in the beginning, and we didn't do it for a while, but I thought now was the time, as we got our momentum, we got moving a little bit, let's kick it to the community. So I want to go through the Nintendo Facebook group. This is the way we're going to start it. For the first couple of weeks moving forward, the Nintendo Facebook group, I will pose the question each week. Anybody that wants to be involved in the show can leave a geek out, and we'll read them on the air. And then as time moves on, I'll then move it to Twitter and have people just do like hashtag maybe NPP Geek Out, and then that way I can search it and find it. We'll figure that out. But
PP.
So Rigo Lara, he is saying that he's watching Rick and Morty season 1 because a coworker recommended it to him to watch it, and playing Killing Floor 2 on my PS4, and also Batman Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight was so good. It wasn't the best in the series. I think Arkham City was much better. I enjoyed Arkham City much better. I think there was a lot of Easter eggs in Arkham City, is why I loved it.
Yeah, I really liked Arkham Knight.
I really loved Arkham Knight too.
Yeah, I feel like the car sections were sort of, people were ragging on it a bit too much. Mm-hmm. I didn't think they were as bad as everyone made out. But,
yeah, it could get a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah, I mean, it did happen a lot. It was quite repetitive.
I think it was just the fact that, like, look, the ability to play in the Batmobile was like so cool, but some of it was just like jammed down your throat, and it was like
they put a lot of effort into like coding that thing and everything. It was like they were so proud of what they could do with that.
I don't blame them. It was pretty. Dude, it was a tank. Dude, it was awesome. Yeah. Todd Oxtra, friend of the show, he said that he is geeking out about Preacher season 2. It is awesome and finally getting close to the comic, and also he's geeking out about Game of Thrones. It can't get here soon enough. So Game of Thrones, this is it. This is the final season, but they're breaking it up into.
I thought they were.
They're breaking the season up into 2 parts, which I haven't really read how they're doing it, and it makes me a little nervous. Like, are they just going to take? Normally, it's 13 episodes for a season. I think last year was actually 10, and I think they're gonna. My fear is that they're just gonna take like 10 episodes and then do 5 and 5. If they're gonna break it into 2 seasons, I would like them to at least go, okay, here's 8 episodes, and then we're gonna finish up with 8. Like, make this final season the big amount of stuff. I feel like they
bang.
Yeah, I feel like they breezed through a lot of stuff to get to where they're at already. It's a shame. I really like the series. I do. So I guess we'll see. It'll be interesting. So are you watching The Preacher?
Yeah, I do like Preacher. I've watched the first episode of season 2, and it is really, really good. Like, I thought season 1 was cool, but I don't know. Season 2 is on another level. Like, they're taking it up a notch. So.
I gotta check it out. Sam Banks, he's saying that he is geeking out about the Castlevania series on Netflix. It is awesome, and I can't wait for season 2. Yeah, man, I'm with you on that one, Sam. I watched episode 1. That's all I've watched so far is episode 1. I have to watch the other 3.
Bobby, it gets better. Every episode gets better.
Episode 1, I was floored. I was like, dude, this is amazing. I want to go back and watch the
You're
other
going to love
ones.
it.
He's also geeking out about Spider-Man Homecoming. He was skeptical at first, but it was really enjoyable. I haven't seen it yet. I'll get out there eventually. A lot of times with the Marvel stuff, I just wait till they come to video, and then I buy them on
when it comes to VHS, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to Betamax. I prefer Betamax over VHS. Gary Gray is geeking out. He's geeking out about a TV show, Dara O'Brien's Go Ape It. I don't even know what
Dara
that is.
O'Brien's Go 8-Bit. It's like a video game show thing in the UK. I've not watched it. I've only seen trailers for it. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know anything about it?
I know that they play some video games. They have like versus things, like they get celebrities on the couch.
What kind of a bloke are you that you don't watch what your people watch over there in...
The thing is, it's on a channel that I can't really get very easily.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Like, I got the channel, but for some reason my connection's really fuzzy on it, so I was like, oh, something wrong.
Josh Stapleton. He is geeking out about this backlit GBA mod that he just finished. It was a bit harder than he anticipated, but it looks awesome. It does look awesome. Did you see this thing?
Dude, yeah, this thing caught me by surprise. I was looking at this, I was like, he's modding a console? Like, that's something like I would be scared to do.
Yeah, I would too. Well, here's the thing about Josh that many people don't know. He does this whole yard sailing thing, flea market type thing, where he goes out and gets GBAs and all these different old school retro consoles and games. And so he's got an abundant, like he falls upon these things pretty readily. So I guess he just figured, like, why not just take one and try it? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've got a couple of DS Lites hanging around that I got from charity shops and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
might as well give it a shot, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out real quick to Evolos. I was on his thrift shop channel the other day. He does this. He's kind of evolved a little bit. He does this whole like going into yard sales and doing. He's got me all doing this thing. He brought me on a show the other day. He had a live show and we went and did it. And he breaks down like the whole reseller type thing, like going yard sale, buying stuff, put it on eBay. Like he shows you how to make money on it and all that. It's pretty cool, man. It's a good show.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Adam Leonard of the Mega Dads, he's geeking out. He said, I've been playing Splatoon 2 this week for a review. Adam, I'm wondering how the hell you got a review copy. I'm a little bit jealous. I'm a lot jealous, honestly. And it's awesome, is what he's saying. For those that don't know Mega Dads, go check them out. It's a really good podcast. I love it. I love Adam. I love John. They're two amazing guys. They're brothers. They're just really, really good. And so you need to go support them if you can. Brendan Myers, he's geeking out about the Switch as a system itself. I am moving, so it is nice to be able to pick it up and play whenever and anywhere within the chaos of moving. Dude, that's huge. Because I've moved before. I've moved a lot before. And that's always the thing. It's like, oh, I can't play games. Like, dude, you just want to rest sometimes and play. And it's like, I can't play games because I don't have everything unpacked and the TV's not hooked up and the video game. But now with this, you can just like pop it out, sit down, play for 15, 20 minutes, and then get right back to cleaning or doing whatever you're doing. I like it. This one we're going to talk about a little bit before we get into our geek outs. Joel Brooks. Okay. He's geeking about the blue Snowball Ice microphone that he just bought this week, which you and I both use. We love them, right?
Yeah.
But he's also geeking out about the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight press conferences that have been going on this week. Have you watched any of this stuff?
No, I don't like him at all. I don't like any of them. I'm not interested in any of this.
Go watch this stuff. It is the greatest entertainment you can get for free on the internet. It is amazing. Amazing. They finished off yesterday in London. You people are nuts. They're sitting there. I have this thing, right? I watch WWE. I try to watch every week. I don't watch every week, but I try to. Tony and I. We watch the pay-per-views, all this stuff. I watch SmackDown. I watch Raw. Everything. I know Joel Brooks does as well. But when they go to Europe, it is some of the best shows ever because the crowd participation is amazing. But you guys are nuts because you're singing in the back. Like, there's a match going on in the ring and you guys are singing. And it's like, this is amazing, dude. It is so... Dude, the crowd gets you so hyped behind it. And, like, you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's like, you're chanting stuff that, like for me, in the wrestling term, it's called a mark. A mark is somebody that kind of knows. Well, a mark is someone that, like, gets kind of like there's two sides to everything, and then a smart mark, what they call a smark, is someone that's smart enough to know the things that are happening behind the scenes. People from England, they're all smarks because they'll sit there and they'll be chanting stuff that they know is going on behind the scenes. It's just amazing. So, like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching this this press conference in London. I actually brought Tony downstairs. I was like, you got to watch this. This is the best thing you'll ever watch. Mayweather always is kind of cocky, and you know, but McGregor is like, he takes Mayweather to another level. Like, he's just 10 times worse. The one thing I like about McGregor, though, is after the fight, he's a totally different guy. Like, if he wins, if he loses, he's not arrogant, he's not cocky. In those press conferences, he's very low-key. He won't even watch the fights after because he doesn't like to see what he does to people. Now, at the same time, they're both arrogant, you know what I mean? But McGregor just makes me laugh. It's so funny. They actually shut his mic off in the first press conference because he's sitting on the side, and every time Mayweather would say something, like Mayweather, I'll give him credit. He'll sit there and let McGregor just run his mouth. He won't say a word. But then McGregor, he's on the side, and Mayweather's running his, and McGregor's like chiming in every 2 seconds. So the first time they cut his mic. But you really got to go see it. It is the funniest stuff. And I mean, dude, they're talking so much trash on each other.
Yeah.
And I know it's a show. You know what I mean? They're trying to hype the pay-per-view and the fight. And when it's all said and done, they'll be friends because they're going to make a boatload of money off of this. I think Mayweather's looking to make $200 million, and they're saying McGregor can make like $1 million or $100 million. Like, it's insane the amount of money they're going to make off this pay-per-view. But at the same time, like, I'm invested. This is what I used to love about boxing growing up. We used to watch this stuff all the time. And I'm like, this is hype. This is hype through the roof, and I can't wait for this. So go watch it. I promise you, you will laugh hysterically. Especially like McGregor. I mean, you know who McGregor is. He's Irish.
Yeah.
You know, he's like Barry Dunn. He's annoying as hell. You know, but I love you, Barry. I'm just kidding. Anyway, what are you geeking? Or you want me to go first? So I am geeking out about, finally, tomorrow, we get some Splatoon. I've been dying to play this full force. But you know what? I'm going to stop, though. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to move on to something that we did last week, you, Tony, and I, that's got me so hooked. Again, it's not even funny. Yeah. So the three of us were playing Minecraft, right? And it was fun. I have my TV here. I'm playing. She's playing on her TV. I got Skype going so I could talk to you while we're playing. Dude, it was so much fun. It was a blast. You are... Hey,
Bobby.
I hate to mine with you, though.
Why don't you tell people what you did to me?
What I did to you?
Yeah, what you did to me on webcam. Why don't you reveal this secret to everyone?
We don't need to tell them. Listen, people didn't tune in for that. They don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, let's relax over there.
What I'm saying is, when you're playing with Bobby, you might want to just do it over voice chat. That's all I'm saying.
So anyway, Toby was being kind of trollish, and he was annoying me. So I got up for a minute to, like, fix my chair, because my chair had lowered a little bit, and I didn't like the level I was at. So when I got up, Toby was like, he's playing with the TV, but the camera's like shooting the side of his face. And he looked over, and when he looked over, like, I had pulled my pants down and mooned him. And he was like, oh, man.
So I saw Bobby's bare bum on webcam.
It was
the
greatest 2 seconds of Toby's life. He won't admit it. He actually filed for divorce this week from Karina. He's trying to get his visa to come move to the United States. He's in love. So I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all for you know. I would be in love too if I was you. It's an amazing sight to see. Anyway, but dude, that time, like, playing was so much fun. This week, Tony and I started playing. Like, I had an area that I was already working on. You had been there two times, like, real briefly. But, like, she came over and she started helping me with it, and because I've been building a building within a gigantic mountain. That was, like, I built my first house, and I was like, oh, there's a little mountain behind her. I'm going to dig into it. And it turned out to be, like, this gigantic mountain. And I'm like, I've dug, like, the same level my house is, back into the mountain. And there's, like, glass, though, on the outside, so you can constantly see out the mountain. It is phenomenal, man. It is so cool. And then, but what I did was, so the biggest problem is I don't know how to build them glow blocks that you can use for lighting.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you need a bunch of different things, and I can't find everything. And I'm like,
you have to go and get them in the Nether.
Is that really what you got to do? Don't tell me that.
I think they're in the Nether, yeah.
Oh, God. So that's where you would get them, but you can build them besides. Dude, I don't have the time for that. You know what I mean? Like, so, anyway, so I was sitting there last night, and I was like, I have all these torches on the ground. I'm like, I hate having this building with torches on the ground. It looks so ugly. You know what I mean? But you got to have the torches, because if you don't, then you come back, and the place is flooded with zombies and stuff. So, this is the longest geek out ever. Anyway, so what I did was, I said to Tony, I said, I got an idea how to do this. So I have my castle, or whatever you want to call it, my house. But early going, I did what we did. I dug straight to the ground, to the base of the ground. And that's where I do all my mining to get stuff, and then I go back up. Obviously, like we found like all kinds of lava down there and stuff. So what I did was I built a bunch of iron buckets, and I went down and I scooped up all this lava. And then I came back up top, and then I trenched 6-block long lines throughout the place, 2 down, right? Drop the lava, which opens up 6 wide. Like if you drop one lava thing, it opens up 6. Then I covered it with glass. So like it's light coming up from the ground. It is so cool looking now, man. I'm like, this is amazing. This is so cool. So it's like it's free light.
Visit your evil lair.
You got to check it out. It is awesome. It is so cool. But anyway, what are you geeking out about?
All right.
Besides seeing my bum, what are you geeking out about?
Are you sitting comfortably?
Oh, here we go. I'm a little nervous. Go ahead.
I bought an Xbox One.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
No, you did not. What? What?
Yeah.
How?
It was Amazon Prime Day the other day.
Dude, I almost got one that day. I almost bought one. The deal was so tremendous.
Yeah.
And I was I'm going to get it. But go ahead. Your story.
So I got an Xbox One S, the 500 gig Xbox One S. It came with 2 controllers.
Yes.
A little keyboard attachment, Minecraft, and Forza Horizon 3.
Oh, God.
And it was £180.
Dude, I was going to get the same thing. It came with 2 controllers, 4 games. It came with 4 games and 2 controllers. I was going to get I was actually going to get the 1 terabyte. The 1 terabyte was like $250, something like that. The 500 was like $219. My problem was, and I told Sean, I had to pay for brakes for my car the next day. And I was afraid, and the brakes were $375, and that was the money I was going to use for it. Dude, I'm telling you, I was so upset. But go ahead, did you get it yet?
Yep, so I got it. Mike got one as well.
Oh, you son of a guns. Now I'm mad.
So me, Mike, and Alex have all got Xbox Ones, and we're all going to have Forza Horizon 3, so we're going to be playing that online together.
You got to play with Sean, because Sean loves Forza.
Yep.
Does Sean know you got this thing?
No, this is the first reveal.
Oh, man. Oh.
Also, today I picked up Rare Replay.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you, man.
I'm looking forward to playing that.
Dude, I hate you so bad.
I know. And one of the main reasons I got it is not only was it really cheap, but me and Mike are really into that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds game on PC. And Xbox have locked down exclusivity for it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be a timed exclusivity or not, but it's going to be on Xbox One first, and that's where we're going to play it.
Damn it, if you would have told me you were getting that, I would have skipped the breaks, risked my life for another couple weeks, and just drove with squeaky wheels for 2 weeks, and then,
So, my experience with the console so far, I've played it a bit. It took a while to download Forza. It was like 50 gigabytes. It let me play it for like half an hour when it had installed the first bit of the game, so that was cool. But then I had to wait like 3 hours for the rest of it to install, so it was a bit of a pain. But it's actually a really, really good game, and graphically it's gorgeous. It sounds amazing.
It's amazing.
I can't tell if it's in 900p or whatever. Like, it looks really good. So I think that the console menus are a little bit jumbled compared to the PlayStation 4. Like the PlayStation 4 is very simple to navigate everything, and the Xbox One's a little bit more complicated. I started off, there was no sound on the Xbox, and I had to change the TV connection settings in the console itself to HDMI because it was set to DVI or whatever it was by default, which requires an extra cable for audio. So I don't know why I had that by default, because I think most people probably just use a HDMI cable. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
I hate you, dude. I
The thing is, you're getting an X. You're getting an Xbox One X.
You know what? That was the thing. That was the thing. Like, when I saw that deal, I was like, forget the X. I'm getting this, and then I'll get the X whenever. I don't care. But, dude, that deal was so good. I didn't want to pass it up. 2 controllers? Dude.
Yeah.
And 4 games. Well, at least for us, we got 4 games. Dude, the 4 games plus that, it was like, they weren't giving us Minecraft. We were getting Forza, I believe Gears, Halo, and something else. And I was like, all in. I was ready, man.
Yeah, they did have larger bundles like that, but the cheapest one was £180.
That's not, dude. I'll tell you what, if Xbox keeps doing stuff like that, before you know it, they'll be caught up. You know what I mean? I think the thing that hurts Xbox, and I've said this numerous times, the main thing that hurts Xbox is they have 0 sales in Japan. Yeah. So they're working off of 2 regions where Sony and Nintendo are working off of 3 regions. Well, 4 if you can include Australia. But Australia is so damn expensive. But Japan,
what though?
Good.
It shocks me that I can get an Xbox One, 2 controllers, 2 games for £180, and for an extra £100 you can get a Switch without any games. And it's like, if you're faced with that choice, I know which one I would go for.
Yeah, so I agree.
I hope that next Christmas Nintendo can bring the price down on the Switch.
I think they will. I think they will.
The
main thing is it's a brand new console. Xbox has been around, but Nintendo's problem is they don't ever lower the price on anything.
No.
You know what I mean? You look at the Wii, that thing was same price to the bitter end. But I think they did that on purpose. They knew Switch was coming. They felt like if they lowered the price, they'd be in trouble. You know what I mean? In terms of hey, we lowered the price on this, and then everybody's going to just hold out for the Switch. They're not going to buy the Switch at launch because they're going to think, oh, I'll just wait for 3 years and get the thing for $100, $200 cheaper. So, all right, let's jump into our topics. I'll let you. Well, we'll do yours first. Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead.
So my topic is, with the Final Fantasy XII remaster that's just come out and it's getting very good reviews. What other PlayStation 2 game would you like to see remastered or remade for the PlayStation 4?
So I have 3 that I would like to see. One I have not played, but I've heard great things about, so I'll start with that one. Okami. I've heard very good things about it. I never played it. I've always had interest in it, but I just, for some reason, I never picked it up. I think because more or less it was at the end of the PlayStation 2 life cycle. I was already moved on and kind of leaving gaming as it was. And then by the time I came back into gaming, more into a hardcore, because I feel like my time with the Wii, I was more casual, I was more stuck to the Wii. By the end of the Wii, I started to move to PlayStation 3, then I went PlayStation 4, and then Wii U, and I was getting more into the oh, this game is amazing. I didn't even play an Uncharted game until the 4, you know what I mean? Until PlayStation 4 came out and they did the Nathan Drake collection, I never even touched an Uncharted game. So I definitely want to try Okami, but
I think Okami is actually on PS3, Okami HD, but not PS4. So that is a good game, and I think that it would be nice to see either a proper sequel or a remaster to that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Platinum did tease a little bit this week. Not this week. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, Platinum teased it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But go ahead.
I was going to say, another thing that I'm impressed with the Xbox 4 is
the Xbox 4?
Sorry, I am impressed with the Xbox for this reason, is what I meant to say. Is the backwards compatibility. So you go onto the Xbox store and there's a whole bunch of 360 games on there. They're all £9.99. They're all really good games, and a lot of them I've never played before. And you can just download them, or if you've got the disc, then you can put that in and play it that way. And it's that's really cool being able to play those 360 games on your Xbox One. Whereas the PS4's backwards compatibility is not like that at all.
No.
If you want to play PS3 games, it's PlayStation Now for you, and that's you have to have a good internet connection. So I think that that's pretty cool. So
I like it. Do you have a game on it, or do you just?
I would like to see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which I believe is the best Tony Hawk's game in my opinion. They did do a Tony Hawk's sort of HD, which had some levels from 3, but it had levels from other Tony Hawk's games, and it wasn't quite as good. So I think if they just took the original game as it was and just remade it fully in like today's graphics, and they'd have to keep the music as well. So
yeah,
it's a phenomenal soundtrack.
This one isn't really a PlayStation game, but it's definitely PlayStation 2. And they do have it where you can get it now for PlayStation 4. But I really would like a remaster version, Vice City.
Oh yeah,
that would be nice. I loved Vice City, like really, really loved it. Because the thing is, like when I play any GTA game, I always go to the rap stations, and I go to the 80s stations to listen to music. What I loved about Vice City was every station was 80s. It was just different types of 80s music. And it was just so cool to just drive around the city listening to that 80s music. Like, no matter what you played, like whatever station. Like, if you went to the rap stations, it was just 80s rap. If you went to the rock, it was just 80s rock. And then, like, pop was just, dude, so cool. So I would love for them to just bring that back. That would be so fun.
Speaking of the soundtrack, I bought the V-Rock soundtrack from there. That was the rock station on Vice City, and that was just phenomenal. Like with Laszlo on there and everything, and the silly adverts between all the songs. Like,
it's so funny.
Good. Yeah. I would also like to see Max Payne 2 remade.
Okay.
Because I've always been a big Max Payne fan. Max Payne 3 was really, really good on PlayStation 3. But that was Rockstar, and they did a really good job with that. But it was, in a lot of ways, it was quite different to the first two Max Payne games. So, and Max Payne 2 was my favorite out of those two, and I'd really like to see a remaster of that.
Very cool. My last game that I have is Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Yes,
I love Metal Gear. Like, I fell out of love for somewhere along the line. I played 2, but after 2, I kind of fell out of love with it for some reason. Came back with 5, but I would love for them to go back and do this game. I never beat this game, so I beat Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PlayStation 1, got this one, got decently far in it, and just stopped. I don't even know why I stopped. It just stopped, and but it was so good, man. It was such a good game. So I would love to see them bring that back and really do a proper justice of it. But I think Konami might be something they're interested in doing. Like, I don't know, man. One minute you think they want to do video games, and the next minute you think, like, nah, they're not interested in it. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm a bit hot and cold with Konami. Like,
it's weird, man.
Really know.
Well, because like they say they don't want to do video games, but then they are doing another Metal Gear game. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, they're not interested in, then they're doing like Netflix, and they're doing like pachinko machines in Japan. And it's like, I don't know. I wish, part of me wishes they would just unload their library, like their IP. But then again, like, I guess it's a steady revenue coming in. But I wish someone, I wish Nintendo would just come in and just buy it all up and start putting out new Castlevania games. Because you would think, like, to me, you have this new Castlevania series. You see the reviews. Like, put a new Castlevania game out. Like, why are you not doing this? I don't understand it. So,
yeah, people are begging for a new 2D one, aren't they? So.
The only thing we're going to have is Bloodstained. I think Bloodstained's going to be it.
I don't know. I hope that doesn't turn into another Mighty Number 9 situation.
Oh, no. Have you seen it, dude? They showed after E3 this year. They showed a little bit.
All right, I didn't see that. I saw some earlier footage where they were fighting some monster on a ship or whatever.
No. This E3, they did some more. They just showed off a little bit, just because they wanted to show people, like, we're working on it. It's coming along. Iga isn't. He's not Inafune by any stretch of the imagination. Like, this dude, he made the Castlevania game, so he knows what he's doing. Inafune just designed the Mega Man character. That was night and day. You know what I mean? Do you have one more game? Or are you done?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. So my topic now is, if you, I'm stealing this because I did a 700 subscriber Q&A this week, and one of the questions I felt was kind of really good, and I wanted to take that and push along with this to throw it at you a little bit. But it says, and this came from Lucas Lore, one of our patrons on Patreon. I had to say that properly before I get yelled at.
Yeah.
If you could meet any 4 game devs and have dinner with them, what 4 would you pick, and what's something you would ask them? Now, I took that question that he asked me and pushed it a little bit further, but go ahead. Why don't you go and I'll go and you go and I go? We'll go.
Oh, well, the thing is, I've got 4 that sort of all relate to each other, so...
Okay, then do your 4.
Well, I'm going to do 3, because one's slightly different. So I've got Next Level Games, I've got Retro Studios, and I've got Ubisoft.
Okay.
And the reason I picked those 3 is because all 3 of those have worked on Nintendo games using Nintendo IP.
Okay.
So, you've got Mario Strikers and Luigi's Mansion for Next Level. You've got all the retro games like Metroid and Donkey Kong. And then Ubisoft is doing the crossover at the moment with Rabbids and Mario. So
yeah.
I'd be really interested to be able to ask them about what it's like to work directly with Nintendo using their characters and all of their IP and sort of, get a sort of look behind the curtain into how protective Nintendo are about their IP and how restrictive they are about ideas. Like, is it really scary, like coming up with an idea for a Nintendo character and then approaching Miyamoto and saying, what do you think about this? Like,
yeah.
And then he slaps you down. He knocks the coffee table over, like they like to say, because he doesn't want Mario to jump in your game. So, but yeah, I think that'd be really interesting.
And I'm assuming number 4 is Miyamoto.
It's not actually.
Really?
No, because he's not a studio, is he? He's not. I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't a studio. It was a developer. It didn't matter.
All right. I would like to, obviously. Anyone would like to interview Miyamoto. Yeah. But I just put Image and Form down.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I thought they've got a close indie relationship with Nintendo, and I think it'd be cool to see, like, because we've interviewed them before, but what we were talking about was like on air and everything. Yeah. So if I could just have dinner and just have a private conversation with them, it'd be really cool to find out a bit more about their relationship.
So for me, okay, so I'm going to break this into 2 more. If you watch the 700 subscriber one, I give a different list that I'm about to give to some degree. So in that list, I gave Miyamoto, which would stay on this list. Absolutely, I would still like to have Miyamoto. I had Jules Watcham, I had Tom Happ, and I had Neil Druckmann. Those were
who's Tom Happ?
Tom Happ did Axiom Verge.
Oh, right, yeah.
The reason why is because he's a one-man band that did it by himself, and I would love to have him there to kind of, like, mingle with these people that have, like, big teams, little... Like, if you look at the way I did it, I went, like, the biggest teams with Nintendo, and then Naughty Dog is, like, the next level, and then Jules, what he has, and then Tom Happ. So it was, like, just to sit there and pick their brains. But now, if I'm really being honest... and had a little time to think on this question, I'm thinking what I would like to do is Miyamoto number 1, Square Enix number 2, Rare, the original team of Rare, not the Rare that exists now, but the original team of Rare there, and then I would probably still keep Jules Watcham there, just because I like Jules and I want him there because he might be Jules and me would be like the idiots over to the side, like, in awe of what's happening in front of us, because he's kind of like into the history and all that stuff too, and we're both right around the same age, so it's kind of, I'd have like a kindred spirit there, and I love Jules so much. So, but I would look at it, the reason why I would bring those 3 in is I would hope that it'd be a candid conversation. It's just a one-time, 1-hour conversation, because I would love to get into this. I would love to find out what it was like when Square and Nintendo had their breakup and Square wound up going with Sony, like, what tensions were there, what actually went down and all this, because I hear it was very heated. I hear there's a lot of, like, issues that went down. Like, Nintendo was very cocky at the time, was like, oh, you're going with them? Good luck. You know what I mean? Like, apparently had a big dinner and all that stuff for them, and it was like, but in Japan, like, when you do stuff like that, it's kind of like an FU at the same time, and it was kind of like, and you've seen that fracture happen for a long period of time. Now they're coming back together. The other thing I would like to do is, because of Rare, I would like, and Miyamoto worked directly with that team on Donkey Kong Country, but then when they left, I'd like to hear the stories about, like, what happened when they left as well. Like, was Miyamoto upset?
Yeah,
Was Nintendo upset? Like, I would love to hear them behind the scenes stories.
I think that going back in time to the Rare days when they left Nintendo, I think that all of the staff that worked on Nintendo games, probably that must have been such a depressing time for them.
Oh my god!
To have all that shake up in their team and they, instead of making all the games that they love making, they end up making weird Connect sports games, and it's like a lot of them left because of that, and it's just such a shame that team had to like get pulled apart like that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like, so because like I look at it like this, like I've run businesses before, I've been involved in running businesses, like I've had input into business, like right now I'm in the position I'm in, I have some say into things and how things operate and some direction of what we do in terms of like on my department, but I get to hear a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But one thing you always learn about that is like if you're involved and you're doing something, like when you bid on a job and you're working with something and you see the intricate details, all of a sudden you start to realize the value of what you're doing. So if it's something that goes up for bid every year, you'll see where a company will lose the next year, because what happens is the new guy comes in and he takes it for lower because he thinks this is the price it needs to be. Boom, I'm going to come in. But the guy that's been doing it for a while goes, well, it's really not worth this. This is what it's worth because of these things. This is what we're going to do. And that's kind of what happened with Nintendo and Rare. Like, Nintendo gave a bid to buy Rare based upon what they knew the team could do, the true value of the company. And then Activision and Microsoft kind of went at it to get Rare. Microsoft totally screwed it up with their reasoning. But at the end of the day, like, they came in with these numbers and Nintendo was like, are you insane? Like, they're not worth that money. So Nintendo never counteroffered. They just let them go. And it was like, it is what it is. Like, see you later. Have a good luck. You know what I mean? Like, and that to me, I remember when that announcement went down, I was devastated because it was just like, I knew what Rare could do, because I had been playing their games for a while, and it was just like, wow, they just let them go. And it was like, but then as years go on and the stories start to come out, you go, well, no wonder they let them go, because it wasn't really, Rare was a good development team, and they were just getting to the point where they were starting to do, like, I fear Retro now. Because Retro, what we believe is starting to now going to get to the point where they're going to go do their own games, their own IP, because they've been doing Nintendo IP for a long time, and that's kind of where Rare was before Rare disappeared. I hope that Nintendo has Retro locked in a little deeper than they did with Rare. I hope they learn their lesson, but I guess we'll find out as time goes on, because I love what Retro does now. Like, I believe that when Rare left, Retro became the new Rare. And the games they do are just phenomenal. So
yeah, such a talented studio.
Yeah, exactly. So next we're going to kick it to hot off the presses. We're going to bring 3 stories to the table. I'll bring 3 Nintendo, Toby will bring 3 Sony, and then he will pick the Nintendo he wants to hear, and I will pick the Sony that I want to hear. Go ahead, give me your 3 stories first.
All right, so we got Mass Effect free trial, Crash still on top, and No Man's Sky multiplayer rumor.
I want to hear about No Man's Sky.
All right, this is a weird one. So, No Man's Sky, obviously, people were very let down that it didn't have multiplayer. The developers said that it would have it in some interviews, but they never really delivered on it. But there's been this weird sort of marketing campaign going on for No Man's Sky in the background, and it's for like an alternate reality game called Waking Titan, right? This is really weird. Essentially, a weird marketing campaign for the intergalactic title, and those who have been keeping up on top of what the cryptic messaging is, because this is weird stuff, man. So there's different theories that people have been having. It says, hang on a sec. So there was a Twitch stream about it. It's strange. It doesn't really make much sense, but the gist of it is that 10,000 Waking Titan players will receive a level 4 Atlas Pass, which will allow them to take part in something that begins on the 21st of July. Many believe that this pass will actually be a closed beta invite, and the existence of a beta generally suggests some sort of online functionality is in the works. And so we reached the guesswork conclusion that No Man's Sky is being prepped for multiplayer. So it's just a weird way to like go about it if it is multiplayer, to do some like side campaign for this alternate reality game that isn't really to do with your game, but it is. Like, I don't know if that's the best strategy for No Man's Sky to do that, because they are their reputation is tarnished. Like,
they're in trouble. They're done.
People hate this game, and I think that maybe the better idea would just to admit it. We messed up with this game. We know that you really wanted multiplayer and you wanted it to be way more than it is, and we are building on that and we're rectifying that. So like, here it is. I think that would have been better than doing some weird marketing campaign.
Yeah,
like
definitely. Because that's honestly, I don't know how many people actually play anymore. The hype was insane when it was coming out.
It was, yeah.
I remember having a conversation with Alan, and he was like through the roof for that game. And then he talked about it for like a week, and then never talked about it again. And it was like every day we'd hear about this game. Every show we did when we had the Geekcast, Alan would bring it up about he had a bet with you. He had a bet.
Yeah.
Did you ever collect your side of it?
I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. I just forgot about it.
He never did what he said he was going to do.
No. The bet was he said he would reach the center of the universe in that game within a year or something.
Yeah, it's well past.
And if he didn't, then he owes me like a crate of beer or something.
Well, there you go. Collect. Alan Paxson, pay up. Pay up, Alan. So my 3 stories are the new Nintendo 3DS being discontinued in Japan and Europe, Splatoon 2 exclusive gear, and Mario Kart VR.
Let's go exclusive gear, Splatoon 2.
So there's 2 folds. There's actually 2 folds to this whole story. So the one is that Nintendo has announced that the My Nintendo Rewards, you will be able to purchase exclusive outfits and gear off of that store in Japan, and then bring it in-game, and you will get to wear the stuff that you're buying with your coins. That's one way. Those items will be exclusive to My Nintendo. You won't be able to buy them in-game. The second one is they're actually doing a partnership with 7-Eleven in Japan. And I guess the way it sounds is like you'll go in and maybe buy a Slurpee or something like that, and there'll be a code attached to it. And then you come home, you put that code into Splatoon 2, and you can then download the gear. It'll give you the gear for free. There's 4 items right now that they're doing with the 7-Eleven. And then they're saying after a year, those items will then move into the My Nintendo Rewards, and you'll be able to get them that way. So you can either go spend real money on it, or you can just wait a year and get the items that way.
Are they 7-Eleven themed?
No, they're just they're actual.
All right.
Like it's normal gear. Like it's one. There's 2 vests. There's a gray and a red vest, I think it is.
Yeah.
But each item has like specific things that work towards Splatoon 2. Like one's like a quick respawn. It's stuff that's Splatoon 2 geared stuff that you can already do with it. It's just the outfits are built exclusively for. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I like that Nintendo's doing this marketing stuff. Like it just, man, I gotta tell you, I was thinking about this today when I went out to get coffee and I was driving, and I was thinking, I was like, the difference between the Wii and the Wii U was all the marketing. Like, since Switch has launched, it feels like totally like the Wii era, where they're just every game that comes out, you're getting smashed with marketing and stuff.
There was a story the other day that Nintendo spent more than any other gaming company in June on marketing.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind how many adverts I see for Switch every day.
Oh my god, dude.
Even like I'm sitting there at work and my mum's working behind me and she's watching YouTube videos, and every video starts with a Splatoon advert, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Well, you think about it. Like, so what brought it up was I was listening to NBC and they were talking about, they referenced Wii Music when Wii Music came out. I remember seeing all these commercials on TV with Beyonce and all these different people playing Wii Music. And it's like, wow, like you watch, and like Run DMC and like those guys like were doing, it was Rev Run and his family were playing, Wii music, and it was like you see what it was back then, and then the Wii U had no marketing at all.
Yeah,
like you never saw commercials. Occasionally you would see a commercial here and there, but then you look at like the Switch and it's like everything. Like, and it's like as every major release hits, they have a huge campaign built around it. They got this new, and it's always the same like millennial themed advertising. You don't see kids, you don't see old people, you see this young hip like power like commercials. Like the whole theme has always been the same thing since the very first announcement to where they are now. Like I was watching a thing the other day, it was a cool commercial. Dude's playing the Switch on the steps, he's playing Splatoon. Next thing you know, like ink's hitting around him and stuff, and then like next thing you know, you go to another person, like ink's hitting all over them. It's like just so cool, man, to see. And they're basically showing like you'll be able to play Splatoon wherever you are, and it's just kind of amazing at the end of the day. Like I'm so excited for Splatoon and this stuff. Toby, we're gonna go into the rewind now. We're gonna bring up retro games, both of us. I'll let you. You want to go first, or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. Go ahead. What you got?
So I'm bringing Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the PlayStation
come on,
1.
Man. Seriously?
What?
Seriously? Oh.
What, Bobby?
Go ahead.
What is wrong with that selection?
I'm over Street Fighter, man. I'm just, I can't with Capcom anymore. But go ahead.
Street Fighter Alpha 3
yes.
on the PlayStation 1 is one of my favourite versions of Street Fighter ever. Even now. I think it was one of the last good 2D Street Fighters before they moved into 3D, and it had really great artwork, and it had the system where you could have like, I think it was like Aism, Vism, and Zism or something, and basically that was when you built up like a bar at the bottom of the screen, and you could pull off like an ultimate special move which would use up the entire bar. Several smaller special moves, which would be like Aism, which is like is split into 3 bars, or Vism, which was like you would create like a ghost of yourself, like a shadow of yourself, and it'd be all purple. And as you jump around the screen and do all these moves, like if they ran into your shadow as well, then you would get hit by that as well. So, and it was like a real sort of cool thing for Street Fighter, and I don't know, I think it's just a brilliant version of the game. It had so many cool characters in it. It had the character Fei Long. I don't know if you played as Fei Long in Street Fighter before, but he is insane. He's like the Bruce Lee type guy.
I loved him. And
he's got this move, it's like a fire foot thing, and he basically kicks straight up in the air, and his whole leg is on fire. Yeah. It's so awesome. But he's my favourite character.
There was a lot of good characters in that game.
It makes me wish that they would bring out a new Street Fighter in the 2D style like that again, because I don't know if they ever will. Now they've gone 3D. I just feel like every Street Fighter is going to be 3D from now on. But I think a lot of people still yearn for that 2D Street Fighter because it just looks timeless and it plays so well.
It looks amazing. Okay, so what they did with Street Fighter for the Switch, I felt like create a ground up, do Street Fighter 6 where it's, from the ground up, and you bring all these classic characters back in, and you do the original series, and then you do like the additional characters. Like really, man, they it's amazing Street Fighter used to be such an amazing franchise. And 5 is actually starting to come around now, where people are talking about like 5 is really good now, but it took a while to get there because it came with it really didn't have a lot of content in the beginning. But I would love to see a 6 and go like pixel art, but amazing pixel art,
or even give like Alpha 3 the HD treatment, because I do like the way the HD version looks of Street Fighter 2. But I think that game isn't quite as good as Alpha 3 in terms of like the super combos that you can do in Alpha 3. I
agree. Okay, so for me, it's Metal Gear Solid on the NES. Well, it's not Metal Gear Solid; it's just Metal Gear on the NES.
Yeah.
So there was 2 versions. There was one for MSX that came out, and then what Konami did was they ported this actually behind Kojima's back. So Kojima had no idea that Konami was porting this game they went to the original developers, or they went to the porting developers and said, we need you to port this over in like 2 to 3 months and have it ready to go. So it was a secret project that nobody knew about. But when the team started to make it, they were running into issues porting it over because there was things that they were able to do on the MSX that couldn't be done on the NES. When you look at the comparisons, for the most part, the game is pretty much there. There's a lot of jungle scenes because what it is there's 5 buildings within the NES version, and it's connected by jungle areas. But it was so cool to be able to go in and find like these key cards and all this different, like, that's where the box came in. Like, you would put a box on you and like creep through areas, and the enemies couldn't see you, and like all these different weapons and all this different stuff. And like, it was a really, really fun game, and I loved it a lot. You know, when I played it, I think I was about 13 or 14 years old. And I just fell in love with this game. I remember the advertising for it leading into it. It got me and my cousins so hyped about it because all it was it would always be on the back of a comic book, and I read comic books like crazy. And it would be like the back of the comic book, and it had just said Metal Gear, and it had like all these different items. So like you see the gas mask, you see a rocket launcher, and me and my cousins would be like, "What is this game? This game is so cool. What is this game?" And then like we were like, "We're all buying it just based off this picture." Like, don't know nothing about it, but it's like, we want this stuff. We want the gas mask and the rations, and when we got the game, man, we just fell in love with this game, and it was just so much fun to do.
The music's really good in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, man, the music's, for the time, the music is amazing. It's really good. The different things, like they had pitfalls, you had different levels on the buildings, like you'd go into these elevators. The final battle is kind of weak sauce when you're fighting a supercomputer. You just drop these plastic explosives on and blow it up. But then you go into a battle with Big Boss, and then you have like a Metroid type thing. You have a timer to get the hell out of the, like, you got to beat Big Boss in a certain amount of time, get to the elevator, get out of there. But that's really cool. It was cool, like when you got to call people on these transmitters and stuff, and like they would pop up, and it's just so much fun, man. It really was a good time. So if you get a chance, go back, check it out. It's not the perfect game. It's a little wonky. You know, the controls aren't perfect now, but it's still a great game. It's a lot of fun to play. So, but the cool thing is I grabbed 2 things. One, Kojima didn't like this version. He was not happy about it. But a lot of it was because it was inferior to the one he built, and he didn't know that Konami did this. They did it on the down low. Yeah. And then the other thing was the original box art. It was taken from Terminator 1. Kyle Reese.
Oh, so, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it looks like painted over it.
It looks almost identical, man. It was like, but it was kind of neat. Like I liked the box art. I always did like the box art, but I like Terminator as well, so it was kind of cool. Yeah. So that is all.
What would be cool?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Bobby.
No, go ahead.
I just had a thought. Like, it would be.
Interrupt me all the time. What are you doing?
I know. I'm sure I did it last week.
No.
They never made a Metal Gear for the SNES, did they?
No.
Like, imagine what that would be like. I think a 16-bit Metal Gear game would be amazing.
They did Metal Gear 2. So they did make a Metal Gear 2. It's called Snake's Revenge. And that was just really bad. Like, that was a totally different development team. That was a mess, that one. But it would have been nice if they would have built one for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah. That would have been so. I loved the original Metal Gear. I loved the original Metal Gear. And then when Metal Gear Solid hit, I was like all over that for the PS1. I was like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, so it was just awesome to see them do this. So any Metal Gear, I'm all about it. Like, not any Metal Gear, because some of them got real weird. But for the most part, like the earlier ones, like I love them. You know what I mean? So it'd be I'd like to see like a remake of the original. You know what I mean? Like kind of not up-res it, but do the graphics a little bit better and have the better music to it and all that stuff. Like, it'd be a lot of fun, man, if they went back and refreshed it up a little bit.
What was it? There was a podcast I was listening to recently, and someone said it'd be really cool to have a new Metal Gear game in the style of the artwork from Metal Gear Solid. It's some like weird cartoony anime sort of art style, like from the box art and everything. Like, that'd be interesting.
Be kind of cool. Yeah. So now that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, dayspace.com. Check us out all over the place. We're on YouTube as well. If you want to watch the video version, a lot of people are watching the video version now, Toby. So hello to all you guys that are watching this on YouTube. Like it's kind of cool.
My beautiful face.
They can see that you need a haircut. Is what they can see.
Yeah, I do need a haircut.
Cut that coif off your head, man. Seriously, what are you doing?
Just jealous that you can't grow a coif like this.
I don't want to grow a coif like that. That is just hideousness, man. Go get a haircut this week. That is your job. That is your mission. Understand?
My dad likes my hair. My dad keeps saying that I should grow it long.
Stop it now. When you go to work tomorrow or Monday, you show him right now on, Mr. Thornton, do not ill-advise your son to grow his hair long. Tell him to cut it. Be the good father that I know you are. This is not something you want to play with. This is his future. You're going to make Karina leave him. Stop. Please stop the madness now. The PSA is over.
Yeah. Oh my God. We need to put some footage of me like looking really sad with all like hair going everywhere. Like
you can follow us Instagram, Twitter for myself at Nintendo Gurus. For Toby, it's Amiibo_workshop on Instagram, Toby's_take on Twitter. See me later.
Ciao.
What is that nonsense? That's horrible.
Dude, that's my sign off. What do you want me to do about it?
Do a better one than that. That was horrible. I know what you're thinking.
Ciao. Well, maybe I should moon the camera. That'd be a good sign off, wouldn't it?
That's a perfect sign off.